Welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Krissy Monaghan, your host, and today we are joined by Sam Elvidge, a franchisee with Happy Kids Yoga and Mindfulness for Leeds and Bradford, where she helps children build confidence, emotional resilience, and well-being through yoga and mindfulness. Sam is a finalist for Content Marketing of the Year, sponsored by Tamara Holland from Dot and Stripe at the Class Business Awards. I'm really excited about this conversation, so let's dive in. Sam, it's absolutely amazing to have you here today on the podcast. For everyone who is listening online or watching us on YouTube, please tell everyone who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
Hello, so yes, nice to be here. My name is Sam. I run Happy Kids Yoga Leeds Bradford, teaching children 2 to 12 mindfulness, yoga, fun in nursery schools and the community as well.
So what did you do before, Sam?
Before this, I was working with adult health, mainly teaching mindfulness. That was the core of what I did. I did also teach sort of sessions and classes, workshops around healthy eating, sleep, things like that too. But yeah, my core thing was happiness and mindfulness, and teaching adults really how to be happier and how to get them the tools to live happier lives with the goal of getting into employment as well.
Oh, cool. So was that self-employment, paid employment, charity? Who was you working for?
It was PAYE, working for a company that worked with the job centres and HMRC to try and get people back into work.
Oh, that's so interesting. So how long did you do that for?
I was there nearly 5 years. I was about 6 weeks shy of 5 years when I was made redundant.
I'm going to have to ask the question because obviously working in that environment with people who are unemployed or being made redundant and then unemployed, trying to get back into work, are probably not in the best mindset. So
nope.
how did it work? Like, was it strategy, online, in person? Like, what did you do?
So I always so my title was Health and Wellbeing Advisor, and across the contract that we worked on, you had a bit of flexibility and freedom with how that sort of went. But essentially everybody had an employment advisor that was on the programme looking for work. And if that employment advisor or the participant themselves asked for health and wellbeing support, they would then be referred to me. And my way of doing it was I always had a one-to-one with the person first before popping them into group sessions. I actually started, it was September of 2020. And that was in between the lockdowns and COVID. So we'd actually the first few months of me being there, it was remote support because of COVID restrictions. But then as time went on, we came back to face-to-face contact. But yeah, my strategy was always to get them in first and have a one-to-one with them, understand what they were struggling with, what they needed help and support with, and just to get to know them and build that trust, that rapport, like straight away. Because you see it with kids all the time, but adults are sometimes even worse. They just don't trust you, or they've had bad experiences, like with their health and wellbeing, maybe with GPs, things like that. So I always saw them first one-to-one to get to know them. Sometimes that was for months before they would feel comfortable to come into a group session in a group environment. And then all of the support was like workshop based, so that they were in spaces with other people that were also struggling.
And what got you into that? Were you trained in this?
So it was a while ago, but I did a counselling, coaching and mentoring degree at uni, just because I always knew that I just wanted to help people. I wanted to support people. And yeah, I think I came out of uni at 21 and I didn't really feel up to being a qualified counsellor, and I thought that's too much for a 21-year-old, or it was too much for me anyway. So I was looking for roles and ways into sort of helping and supporting people. So I went through a variety of different roles. I worked at a special needs school as a supply teaching assistant, and sort of helped and supported in that area. I did a bit of retail because, it's hard when you come out of uni at 21. Worked in a boarding school looking after children. I was actually a matron for a couple of years at a boarding school in Harrogate. So I was essentially like a parent for the kids after school and on weekends. And then, so any role really where I could sort of teach people how to help themselves and be part of that support was what I was looking for.
I love that, Sam. That's amazing, especially like at such a young age to be like looking for that type of career. It's not one I've heard of before, like in this sector. So you were there for 5 years, you were made redundant, and then what? So then did you start looking for a franchise opportunity or going independent? Just walk me through that.
Yeah, so actually the redundancy started before I was made redundant at the end of September. So they actually started in the February before that. So the first wave were the sort of last people in, first out, and it sort of got me looking, really. So I started having a look on Indeed, and I just saw an opportunity for a kids yoga teacher come up, and I was like, wait, you can teach kids yoga? That's that's amazing. And I just was so excited by it. But then when I looked into it and I saw it was working as being a franchisee, and I was like, oh, this was like my walls went up. I was like, this is terrifying. I am too scared to do this because, I'd never really considered being self-employed or owning a franchise. But then as time went on, I followed Jen, our franchisor, on Instagram and started watching her stuff. And gradually the walls came down a little bit, talked about it with family and friends, and just realised really that actually maybe that was something I could do. I've done yoga. I started probably at uni, actually, and during my time at my last employment as well, I trained to be a mindfulness practitioner. So the idea that I could actually give that to those tools to children instead of the adults that I'd been working with, because, some of the adults I'd been working with had been struggling for decades, and it was really hard to teach them tools because they'd had, and some of the older participants on the programme, sort of 50s, 60s, they'd not been brought up understanding mental health. And the opportunity, when I saw it, I thought, I'd love to work with kids again and to teach them these tools so that they don't get to be these adults that have no idea how to help themselves and they don't know how to regulate or... I saw the opportunity and I thought, I've got to look into this. So I started looking into it around February time. I had more conversations with Jen, went to go meet her in May, and I sort of did the process a little bit backwards because I wanted to sort of meet her and see it in action first before I got the offer, and sort of had that commitment ready. So so I went and met her, and I just did my first couple of watched and partaked in these classes, and I just loved what I saw, and I thought, I can't believe I can't believe that that's actually a job. I think sometimes you don't realise that jobs exist, do you? I don't know, you grow up through school and you're told about certain jobs, and then all of a sudden you're an adult and people ask you what you want to do, and you're like, oh, I don't really know. But through my time at my last job, I knew that mindfulness in particular was something was for me, and that was what I wanted to do, but I didn't really know how. So I started, I signed my contract, my franchise agreement in June of last year, ready for the redundancy happening end of September. So I did all the logistical business setup while I was still working out the redundancy, ready to get going in the autumn term.
I love this for you, Sam. It sounds like it was a perfect match and it came along at the right time for you. So you've been in business, just over a year? So you must have celebrated your first year in business.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because obviously you've took the leap from employment to self-employment, which is a massive leap. How has that been for you?
It was incredibly daunting to start with. I'm definitely one of these people that I can get quite overwhelmed quite quickly when I'm faced with something really huge. But the mindfulness and the lessons in yoga have sort of taught me you just need to take them one step at a time. So it was quite good in terms of working out my notice and setting up the logistical side, because it almost wasn't too much, if that makes sense. It was like, okay, today you need to set up as a company. Today you need to do this. Today you need to get an Instagram account, and it just sort of slowly sort of trickled through, ready for me finishing. I did actually have some unexpected health issues in October. So I'd only been going full time and doing the self-employment full time for about a month. And I had a really large DVT, deep vein thrombosis, which was quite unexpected at 31. That sort of set me back for a few months, but that was quite scary, because I was like, all of a sudden I don't have money coming in. I haven't got my business up and running properly yet, and now I can't work. I couldn't even walk for a few weeks afterwards.
Wow.
So it was pretty scary. But again, it's just been that, you take one day at a time, one step at a time, and all of a sudden it just sort of came together. And I actually think it was a good place to be in as well, because I wasn't full time in the beginning. I could take myself out for little walks. I started learning to crochet this year, and the little hobbies and interests that that are quite mindful and that I hadn't maybe had time for in my last job. It sort of helped ease me in, and sort of with that mindfulness on the mind was a case of, okay, try not to pressure myself to go quicker than was healthy and capable and all that sort of stuff. I hope I answered that question.
No, you totally did. I mean, it's not easy if you were, had a health issue and then you're knocked out and you obviously got no income coming in. I know you've done extremely well to get through this first year. So the business, tell me about what you actually deliver and where do you deliver it?
Okay, so yes, we deliver yoga and mindfulness sessions. My main work that I've had in this first year has been delivering it to nursery settings.
Okay.
So a lot of 2 to 4, 2 to 5 year old classes. So fun storytelling, adventures, lots of like breathing techniques, mantras, games involved. We also go into schools, so primary schools, and the community as well. I've been really lucky so far this year to get into some holiday clubs. I've also done some sessions for girl guiding, so rainbows and brownies, which has been really, really lovely. Getting creative with those sort of classes as well. And an after school class I've been running regularly this year too. So anything really that helps children to slow down, ask themselves how they're doing, listening to things, feeling in their bodies, like how does this feel for me? That's been what I've got up to so far this year.
And then how did you get into the nurseries? Because I know the audience are always looking for ways to get into nurseries and schools. Is there a particular strategy that you've used?
Yeah, so we offer tasters. So we offer free taster sessions at the start of every half term. So we go in, deliver a free taster, and then chat with the staff afterwards. How did you find that? Did you think it was useful for the kids? Sometimes you don't have to ask them that. They come up to you and they say, "Oh my gosh, they absolutely loved it," or so and so never lies down for more than 10 seconds, and they really engaged with that. We do free tasters, and that's been the way that I've got into the nurseries in particular. I've also had some nurseries see me on Facebook as well. So one of my first nurseries that booked earlier this year, about February time, had posted that I'd been in to see them, and they booked regular sessions with me. And I think it was a manager of another nursery used to work with that nursery about 8 years ago, and she'd seen me on their Facebook profile and thought, we'd love to provide this to our kids as well. So I've got into another chain of nurseries that way through them seeing us on Facebook.
That's brilliant. And what do you think, like, obviously, if you're getting nurseries who are wanting you to come in and work with their children, what do you think it is that you bring to their setting that they actually want and need? Like, what benefit is there?
I think a big one for kids these days is like the engagement and the focus and the concentration. And I think the way with yoga is, because with nurseries in particular, we do like story-based adventures. So they don't actually realise, I don't think they even know the children themselves don't really know what yoga is. They might not have heard of it. Some of them have done like online sessions and have maybe done it that way. But a lot of kids don't actually understand what yoga is. They just know that they're moving, they're acting out a story in yoga poses, really. And that's helping them to with that focus engagement. I've had quite a few nurseries mention that some of their children are waiting to be diagnosed with ADHD, and they struggle with that ability to sort of listen and concentrate and focus for longer periods of time. I've had some members of staff even say to me, so-and-so probably won't stay focused for more than 5 minutes. And they do a whole 30-minute session, and they're quite surprised after. And it's like, well, yeah, because it's fun, the story moves, so we're not static, we're moving through the poses, and everything is built for the kids to engage them, and to, they're having fun, and they don't realize that they're learning techniques at the same time. They just think, oh, we're doing, what's bee breath? Oh, we sound like a bee. But what's actually happening is helping them without them realizing it. And I think that's been one of the things that people, and the nurseries in particular, have enjoyed. Some parents have even reached out to me in the last few months and said, my daughter really looks forward to the sessions. She feels calmer after, or she listens to me better now. And that sort of stuff is, it's like gold, isn't it, for nurseries and parents and the children themselves to be getting benefits from something that is fun and enjoyable at the same time.
And it's the impact that you're having on people's lives. Like, did you, obviously when you've worked in the past, you've worked with adults, you may have seen some of the impact that you've had on adults' life. Over the last year, what impact have you seen? Like, obviously you're telling us stories that people are telling their children are listening and stuff. Have you physically seen it yourself with the children as well? Like from week 1 to week 8?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I've actually just been a nursery. They were one of my first that booked back in February. So I've been working with them for about 5 months. And there was a little boy that started to watch the sessions maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And when I sort of said to him, do you want to come and join in? The staff were like, oh, he never joins in. He doesn't join in with any activities that come into the setting. But he'll watch. And I was like, that's absolutely fine. Happy for him to watch. As a few weeks went on, I noticed he was watching more. And there was a spare mat one day. And I said, do you want to come and sit on the mat? I said, you don't have to join in, but you could listen from the mat if you liked. Because we always tried to set up in a circle so that everyone feels included in the space. And to start with, he sat down with a member of staff and shared a mat with them and just watched the session. And the next week he sat there again and he started to join in with a few little bits. And by our last session last week, he was doing the entire class, joining in. And the staff were like, oh, I can't believe that he's joined in. That's amazing. I don't know whether it is maybe an anxiety thing for him about joining in with activities or confidence. I'm not sure what was going on there, but in the last few weeks he has joined in with the whole sessions. And we did some pirate breathing the other week, and the giggle that came out of him was just fantastic. And he realized that it was a safe space for him, that he could join in and have some fun. And it's been lovely to see him like grow over the last few months, and to see him start to engage.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely incredible. Like, and the fact that, I mean, you've probably made a massive difference to that child's life, and mum at home is probably getting a nice, good rapport that he's taking part and stuff. So it's incredible. So what's the plan for the rest of this year? Like, what's your goals for this year? What are you working towards?
So this last half term, just before we've broken up for summer holidays, I've actually been fully booked. So my goal for the rest of the year, when we go back to school in September, is to get back to being fully booked, and to build up until Christmas, and then maybe at some point look at hiring a teacher to help me out. If things are still looking really busy, I'd love to get someone else on board so that we can reach even more children. We've obviously got into summer holidays now, so the next 4 weeks for me are going into different holiday clubs, and again, just being able to share it with more kids is like the biggest goal, because the more people I can reach, even if it's for one session, they know that it exists, then the parents will know it exists as well. So I always feel like the more holiday clubs I'm going to go in over the next few weeks, the kids go home and say, what did you do today? Oh, we did yoga. Yeah, okay, I didn't know kids could do yoga, because a lot of people are quite surprised in the beginning. I was surprised just over a year ago. Oh, what? That's a thing for kids. So just spreading the word, spreading the sort of message from we, which is look at how yoga can help your child learn to focus better, concentrate better, grow in confidence, just show as many people as I can that yoga can be really helpful for them, both at home, at school, just in life. And I always think these tools are for life. They're not just for their years while they're at nursery and school. It's stuff that they can grow and build with them. And one of the main reasons I just wanted to do this was because I feel I could have benefited with these tools as a child. I was an incredibly anxious child. Probably from about 8 years old, I always said I probably had anxiety, and maybe actually learning more about ADHD and how ADHD presents in girls in particular. I actually think that I haven't got a diagnosis of anything, but I have had comments over the last few years of, is the neurodivergence there? And I'm like, yeah, probably. And actually, I think these things could have helped me as a kid. So I'm not a parent myself. So it's not, I've not come into this from a place of I want my children to have this, but I almost want my younger child, my younger self to have these things and to, just have more awareness that these things exist and can be really helpful for kids growing up.
Oh, for sure. And obviously you're a finalist for the Class Business Awards. So let's talk about marketing, because is it something that you enjoy?
So I always find this is quite funny, because this was one of my biggest worries when I first bought the franchise, was the social media side of things. I think I'd spent the last sort of 5 years before that, working in a space delivering mindfulness, telling people to get off their devices.
Off the social media.
So get off it and to stop doom scrolling and, all of that stuff, getting stuck in these ruts and the sort of negative side of social media, really. So when I first got the business and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to actually have to go on social media and do these things, was actually quite terrifying. And in the beginning, I found it so hard. I would record myself and then I'd be like, I don't like it. My head looks like a potato. Or the lighting's not right. And I, just really sort of panicked. And I would be recording videos like 7 or 8 times, because I was like, I just don't look right. And I don't feel right doing it. And I think part of that was practice. Which is something I've taught a lot over the years. Practice makes progress. I don't believe in the word perfection. I don't like the word perfect. I don't think it exists. And I think that's a big thing with striving, isn't it? Striving for that perfection, which ultimately never comes, because there's always going to be someone that doesn't think something's perfect. So I really struggled with it in the beginning. I was very worried about doing things wrong. And again, that anxiety sort of came in as like, oh, what if I post something and someone doesn't like it or doesn't agree? And so I found it really hard in the beginning. And I also felt that when I had my health issue in October, because I wasn't doing as much, I didn't know what to post. And I was constantly sort of racking my brains of like, well, what do I post when I'm sort of sat laid up at home with my leg propped up and I can't really do a lot. I feel
broke your leg each day.
And then, when I started teaching, so my first booking had to be delayed until January, when I sort of felt physically and mentally and emotionally ready to teach again, after something that was quite traumatic. And I realised that once I started teaching, I had things to talk about. And, I could talk about the fact that the kids loved this pose today or laughed at this. And I stopped recording myself as many times. It maybe went down from like 7 or 8 times a recording to maybe just 2 or 3. And then as I got busier, I didn't have time to re-record myself. And it was just a case of, right, I need to get in and have some lunch before I go out again this afternoon. I just need to do a video. And there was less overthinking involved. And I think I just felt more me in the clips. And I took that pressure off myself in terms of, it needs to be perfect, it needs to be polished. And it was more about getting content out there, because good things were happening in the classes and the sessions. And I thought, actually, I need to get the message out rather than worrying about what it looks like. I just need to do it. And the more I've done it, the easier it's gotten and the less worried I've been about looking like a potato, having that lighting, and just sharing what it's giving me, what it's giving the kids. And it just got easier. And the more you do, I think the easier it gets and the more natural it feels. And people started commenting, actually, like, my friend's family. I know Jen had someone that had messaged her and had said, your franchisee for Leeds Bradford, it seems really lovely in the videos. And I was like, oh, actually, I can just be myself and I don't need to pretend to be anyone, which is the message of yoga, right? And mindfulness. It's like, stop striving, stop trying to be someone else, just try and be comfortable in your skin and with who you are. And then I think the more natural it started to become, the more people started engaging with it as well.
I love that. Yeah. And it's great advice for someone starting out, because people do get caught up with recording what they look like, what they sound like. No one likes to look at themselves. At the end of the day, whenever you record something, you're always like, oh God, I wish I didn't look so like dead, half dead or knackered out and everything else. Because we're just like, we pick, don't we? That's just human nature, isn't it? But the main thing is, like you said, it's being authentic, true to yourself, and like keep it as natural as you can. And I think the beauty of, like, I understand the recording of videos, because that's one of the reasons I like to go live, because when you go live on Facebook or Instagram, it is real and there is no re-record. Whereas at the minute, just say, for example, like one of my accounts, like, because obviously Instagram put this 1,000 followers rule on, haven't they? You've got to have 1,000 followers to go live. It means I do have to pre-record stuff. And I'm still like you, 8 takes later, because you're trying to get it right, you're trying to make sure you've got everything you want to say. And I find that just so frustrating, because I could just go live and do the same thing in 30 seconds. Yeah. And I think, that's just one of the things we do get hung up on. And I think being yourself is so important right now, particularly with AI fast.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, There's like a real thing, isn't there, about being so polished and perfected, and actually, in a world where all of that is around, I want to just come across human, because I'm just a person at the end of the day. And I think, there's a lot of generational stuff, isn't there, with like the generations that can pick up on AI, and and I can definitely tell sometimes I'm like, that's not right, there's something that doesn't look right there. But I want people to watch my videos and be like, oh, she just tripped over a tree root as she's walking in the park, or she said or too many times, but actually that's just real, isn't it? And
definitely, for sure. People. You got to just keep it real. And because the AI tools are absolutely nuts at the minute. Like I'm doing a lot of work in AI at the moment. It's incredible. It's a time saver. It's a game changer, but it is scary of the capabilities that can come. So you've literally, so you're a finalist with us. You're doing incredible work. I can't wait to meet you on the 10th of October in person. We're going to love having you there for the day. If anyone is listening to this podcast and they want to find out more about how to book you, for like a nursery wanting to book you, or a face-to-face customer wants to come to one of your community classes, where's the best place for them to get in touch with you?
Instagram is a really good place. So happykidsyoga_Leeds Bradford. You can send me a DM. You can comment on any of my posts or reels. You can also email me at sam@happykidsyoga.co.uk, or type in Happy Kids Yoga and our whole page will come up, and you can find Leeds Bradford on that website as well.
Brilliant. And if there's a provider out there who's just starting out and they're scared about the social media, should they just get in touch with you on Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. Just get in touch, ask, because we've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? Yeah. And again, I think one of the lovely things, not just about like children's activity providers, but about spaces where yoga and mindfulness is involved. We want to be a community. We want to help and support each other. So it's not a case of, I've learned the secret and I'm going to take it to my grave or anything. Happy to share, happy to help, and just show that social media in particular can be a good place to connect with other people and help and share ideas. So please do get in touch if you'd like to talk about it.
Perfect. Oh, well, Sam, it's been absolutely amazing to chat with you today and finding out about you and the business and what you're planning for the future. And like I said, I can't wait to meet you in October, face to face, because I love meeting people face to face. So thank you so much for your time today. And if this story has resonated with you, please do get in touch with Sam to talk about social media, content marketing. And if you are a nursery or a school supplier or someone who's interested in getting their children into Sam's activities, I would highly recommend you get in touch with her, because she's clearly doing extremely well in her area and spreading the message about the amazing work she's doing. So thank you so much, Sam, for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I can't wait for October as well. It's going to be so exciting.